Nenah Catt's tragic case serves as a poignant reminder of the ongoing violence faced by Indigenous individuals, highlighting the urgent need for awareness and action. Nenah, a vibrant young woman, was known for her spirited personality and deep connection to her community. Her life, filled with dreams and aspirations, was abruptly cut short under circumstances that have left many questioning the safety and well-being of Indigenous people. The details surrounding her death are harrowing, reflecting a broader pattern of violence that disproportionately affects Indigenous communities. As we delve into Nenah's story, it is essential to approach the topic with sensitivity and respect for her family and loved ones, who continue to grapple with the profound loss of a cherished member. This video aims to shed light on the implications of her case, not only as a standalone tragedy, but as part of a larger narrative that demands our attention. By discussing Nenah's life and the circumstances of her death, we hope to honor her memory while also emphasizing the critical need for societal change. It is vital to recognize that each statistic represents a real person, a life filled with potential, and a family left to mourn. Nenah's story is not just hers alone. It resonates with countless others who have faced similar fates, underscoring the systemic issues that contribute to violence against Indigenous individuals. Raising awareness about these cases is crucial in fostering understanding and empathy, as well as advocating for justice and protection for marginalized communities. By bringing Nenah's story to the forefront, we aim to inspire conversations that challenge the status quo and encourage collective action. It is our responsibility to ensure that such tragedies do not fade into obscurity, but instead serve as catalysts for change. As we navigate through this sensitive topic, let us remain committed to honoring the victims and their families, recognizing their pain and amplifying their voices. Together, we can work towards a future where Indigenous individuals are safe, valued, and respected, and where stories like Nenah Catt's become a thing of the past. Nenah Catt was born on March 15, 2003, in a small, close-knit community that celebrated its rich cultural heritage. From an early age, Nenah exhibited a vibrant personality that drew people to her. She was known for her infectious laughter and a smile that could light up any room. Growing up in the Quarterpath family, Nenah was surrounded by love and support, which played a significant role in shaping her character. Her family dynamics were characterized by strong bonds and a deep sense of togetherness, with her parents instilling values of respect, resilience, and cultural pride in their children. Nenah thrived in this nurturing environment where her creativity flourished. She had a natural talent for the arts, often expressing herself through painting and music. Her artistic abilities were not just hobbies, they were a reflection of her vibrant spirit and a means for her to connect with her cultural roots. Nenah's passion for creativity was evident in her artwork, which often depicted scenes from her community and the beauty of her Indigenous heritage. She was a promising young individual with dreams of pursuing a career in the arts, hoping to inspire others through her work. Beyond her artistic talents, Nenah was also known for her protective nature, especially towards her younger siblings. She took her role as an older sister seriously, always looking out for them and ensuring they felt safe and loved. Nenah's nurturing instincts extended beyond her family. She was a friend to many, always ready to lend a helping hand or offer words of encouragement. Her caring demeanor made her a beloved figure in her community, where she was seen as a role model for younger children. The Quarterpath family's cultural background played a significant role in shaping Nenah's identity. They celebrated their traditions and passed down stories that connected them to their ancestors, instilling a sense of pride in their heritage. Nenah embraced this cultural legacy, often participating in community events and sharing her artistic talents to honor her roots. Her upbringing, marked by love, creativity, and a strong sense of responsibility, painted a picture of a young woman full of potential and promise, whose life was tragically cut short. The family's move to Dunluce marked a significant turning point in Nenah Catt's life, bringing about notable changes in her behavior and family dynamics. Initially, the transition seemed promising as the new environment offered opportunities for growth and exploration. However, as time went on, Nenah began to exhibit signs of distress and withdrawal, a stark contrast to her previously vibrant personality. The challenges of adapting to a new community, coupled with the pressures of adolescence, contributed to her changing demeanor. The family faced additional turmoil when Child and Family Services became involved, prompted by false allegations that cast a shadow over their lives. These unfounded claims not only strained the family's relationships, but also placed an immense burden on Nenah, who felt the weight of the scrutiny and judgment from outsiders. The emotional toll of these events was profound, leading to increased anxiety and a sense of isolation for Nenah, who struggled to navigate the complexities of her situation. Despite these challenges, the bond between Nenah and her mother remained a source of strength. Their relationship was characterized by deep love and mutual respect, with her mother serving as a guiding force in Nenah's life. They shared a unique connection that was enriched by their cultural background, often communicating in their native language, which fostered a sense of belonging and identity. This linguistic bond allowed them to express their feelings and experiences in a way that felt authentic and meaningful. Nenah's mother was not only a caregiver, but also a cultural mentor, instilling in her daughter the values and traditions of their heritage. Together, they participated in community events, celebrated cultural milestones, and shared stories that connected them to their ancestors. However, the stress from the involvement of Child and Family Services and the impact of false allegations began to create rifts in their relationship. Nenah's mother, feeling the weight of the accusations, became increasingly protective, which sometimes led to misunderstandings between them. Despite these challenges, the love they shared remained unwavering, serving as a reminder of the importance of family ties in times of adversity. As Nenah navigated the complexities of her changing environment, her relationship with her mother continued to be a vital source of support, grounding her in her cultural identity and providing a sense of stability amidst the turmoil. As a teenager, Nenah Catt was filled with dreams and ambitions that reflected her vibrant personality and creative spirit. One of her most significant aspirations was to become famous, a desire that fueled her involvement in local modeling competitions. Nenah was drawn to the glitz and glamour of the modeling world, where she envisioned herself walking the runway and captivating audiences with her unique style and confidence. Participating in these competitions allowed her to express her individuality and showcase her artistic flair, while also providing her with a platform to connect with others who shared her passion for fashion and performance. Beyond modeling, Nenah was actively engaged in her community, particularly through programs like the Boys and Girls Club of Edmonton. This involvement not only enriched her life, but also allowed her to give back to her peers. At the club, she participated in various activities that fostered teamwork, creativity, and leadership skills. Nenah thrived in this environment, where she could inspire younger children and serve as a role model, embodying the values of resilience and determination that her family instilled in her. Her experiences at the Boys and Girls Club further fueled her ambitions, as she recognized the importance of community support in achieving her dreams. Additionally, Nenah had a deep love for reality TV, which significantly influenced her aspirations. She was captivated by shows that highlighted the lives of young stars, often dreaming of one day being featured on a similar platform. The drama, excitement, and glamour of reality television resonated with her, sparking her imagination and motivating her to pursue a career in the entertainment industry. Nenah often discussed her favorite shows with friends and family, sharing her thoughts on the contestants and their journeys, which fueled her desire to carve out her own path in the spotlight. This fascination with reality TV not only shaped her ambitions, but also provided her with a sense of escapism, allowing her to envision a life filled with adventure and success. As she navigated her teenage years, Nenah's dreams of fame, her active participation in community programs, and her love for reality television intertwined, creating a tapestry of aspirations that reflected her vibrant spirit and determination to make her mark on the world. The events leading up to Nenah Katz's disappearance began with a seemingly innocent sleepover plan with her close friend, KB. The two had been looking forward to spending time together, sharing stories and enjoying each other's company. However, as the evening approached, confusion ensued regarding the details of their plans. Nenah's excitement was palpable, but there were mixed messages about where they would be staying and who would be present. This uncertainty created a sense of unease, especially for Nenah's mother, who was always vigilant about her daughter's safety. As the night unfolded, Nenah's mother expressed her concerns about the situation, feeling that something was off. Despite her instincts urging her to take action, she ultimately decided not to involve the police initially, believing that Nenah would return home soon. She thought it was possible that Nenah had simply lost track of time or was caught up in the excitement of the evening. However, as hours turned into a restless night, her worry deepened. The following morning, when Nenah had not returned, her mother's anxiety escalated. She began reaching out to friends and family, trying to piece together Nenah's whereabouts. The community rallied around her, sharing information and searching for any signs of Nenah. As the timeline of events unfolded, it became increasingly clear that something was terribly wrong. Days passed without any leads, and the search efforts intensified. Local authorities were eventually notified, and the police began their investigation, canvassing the area and interviewing those who had seen Nenah last. The community came together, organizing search parties and distributing flyers in hopes of finding her. Tragically, the search came to a heartbreaking conclusion when Nenah's body was discovered in a remote area. The news sent shockwaves through the community, leaving friends and family devastated. The timeline leading to this tragic discovery was filled with hope and despair, as the initial confusion surrounding the sleepover plans spiraled into a nightmare. Nenah's disappearance highlighted the vulnerabilities faced by young individuals and the importance of community vigilance. Her mother, who had initially hesitated to involve the police, was left grappling with the unimaginable loss of her daughter, a pain that would resonate throughout the community for years to come. The events leading up to Nenah's disappearance serve as a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the urgent need for awareness and protection for all individuals, especially those in vulnerable situations. Following Nenah Katz's disappearance, the police launched an investigation that began with a series of initial questions aimed at piecing together her last known movements. Officers interviewed friends, family, and acquaintances, seeking to understand the circumstances surrounding her sleepover plans and any potential leads. However, the investigation was complicated by the implications of Nenah's Indigenous background. There were concerns that her case might not receive the same level of urgency as those of non-Indigenous individuals, a sentiment echoed by her family and community members who were acutely aware of the systemic issues surrounding violence against Indigenous people. This added layer of complexity heightened the emotional strain on Nenah's family, who felt a profound sense of urgency and fear that their daughter might not be prioritized in the search efforts. As the investigation progressed, the emotional impact on Nenah's family became increasingly evident, They were engulfed in a whirlwind of anxiety, hope, and despair, grappling with the uncertainty of her fate. Each passing day without news felt like an eternity, and the weight of their worry was palpable. Family members rallied together, supporting one another while also advocating for a thorough investigation. They attended community meetings, shared Nenah's story, and urged authorities to take swift action. The emotional toll was immense as they clung to hope while facing the grim reality of the situation. Tragically, the investigation took a devastating turn when Nenah's body was discovered in a remote area. The news shattered her family and the community, plunging them into a deep state of grief. The discovery prompted a subsequent investigation into the circumstances surrounding her death. Authorities worked diligently to gather evidence, interviewing potential witnesses, and examining the scene for clues that could shed light on what had happened to Nenah. The investigation aimed to uncover the truth and hold accountable those responsible for her tragic fate. As the community mourned the loss of a beloved young woman, they also rallied for justice, demanding that the investigation be thorough and transparent. The emotional impact of Nenah's disappearance and subsequent death resonated deeply within her family and the broader community, highlighting the urgent need for systemic change in how cases involving Indigenous individuals are handled. The investigation into Nenah's death became not just a quest for answers, but a rallying cry for justice and awareness surrounding the violence faced by Indigenous people. In the tragic case of Nenah Cat, several individuals became central to the investigation, particularly Joseph Laban, whose troubled past would later emerge as a significant factor in the events leading to her death. Joseph, in his late 20s, had a history marked by criminal behavior, including previous charges related to violence and substance abuse. His troubled upbringing and struggles with addiction contributed to a pattern of erratic behavior that often placed him in precarious situations. This background raised concerns about his potential involvement in Nenah's case, as investigators sought to understand the dynamics surrounding her disappearance. The group of perpetrators involved in Nenah's tragic case consisted of several individuals, each with their own complex backgrounds and relationships. This group, primarily composed of young adults, exhibited a troubling pattern of criminal behavior that included drug use, theft, and violence. Their interactions were characterized by a toxic camaraderie, where reckless decisions and a disregard for the consequences of their actions became the norm. This environment fostered a sense of invincibility among them, leading to increasingly dangerous behaviors that ultimately culminated in Nenah's tragic fate. Among the individuals involved were several young men and women, all of whom were connected through a web of friendships and acquaintances. The ages of the perpetrators ranged from their late teens to early 20s, reflecting a demographic often grappling with the challenges of youth and poor decision-making. Some were childhood friends, while others had met through mutual acquaintances or shared experiences in their troubled neighborhoods. This interconnectedness created a dynamic where peer pressure and loyalty often overshadowed moral judgment, leading them down a path of criminality. The relationships within this group were complex, marked by a mix of camaraderie and rivalry. While they often supported one another in their illicit activities, underlying tensions frequently surfaced, fueled by jealousy and competition. This volatile mix of emotions contributed to an environment where violence could erupt unexpectedly, and the consequences of their actions were rarely fully considered. As the investigation unfolded, it became clear that the dynamics within this group played a crucial role in the events leading to Nenah's disappearance and death. Understanding the backgrounds and relationships among these individuals was essential for authorities seeking to piece together the tragic circumstances surrounding Nenah's case, as it highlighted the broader issues of youth violence and the impact of systemic failures within their communities. The horrific events that led to Nenah Catt's death unfolded on April 3rd, a day that would forever haunt her family and community. What began as a seemingly ordinary evening quickly spiraled into a nightmare marked by betrayal and violence. Nenah, trusting her friends and the group she had associated with, found herself in a precarious situation. The individuals she believed she could rely on turned against her, revealing a darker side that she had not anticipated. As the night progressed, the atmosphere shifted from camaraderie to hostility, with the group engaging in psychological manipulation to exert control over Nenah. They preyed on her vulnerabilities, using tactics that left her feeling isolated and powerless. Their intentions were sinister, driven by a combination of malice and a desire to assert dominance. This manipulation created an environment where Nenah felt trapped, unable to escape the escalating violence that was about to unfold. The brutality of the crime that followed was shocking and incomprehensible. In a moment of sheer cruelty, the group turned their aggression towards Nenah, subjecting her to unimaginable violence. The details of the attack are harrowing, illustrating a complete disregard for her life and dignity. The brutality of the crime not only claimed Nenah's life, but also shattered the sense of safety within her community. Friends, family, and neighbors were left grappling with the reality that such violence could occur in their midst, prompting widespread fear and outrage. The impact of Nenah's death reverberated throughout the community, igniting conversations about the systemic issues that contribute to violence against Indigenous individuals. Many felt a profound sense of loss, mourning not only for Nenah, but for the innocence that had been stripped away from their neighborhood. In the aftermath of this tragedy, the community rallied together, seeking justice for Nenah and demanding accountability for those responsible. Vigils were held, and voices were raised in solidarity, emphasizing the need for change and greater awareness of the dangers faced by young individuals, particularly those from marginalized backgrounds. Nenah's death became a rallying cry, highlighting the urgent need to address the underlying issues of violence, addiction, and systemic neglect that had allowed such a horrific event to occur. The brutality of her crime served as a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the importance of community vigilance in protecting its most vulnerable members. In the aftermath of Nenah Catt's tragic death, the behavior of the group involved in the crime was marked by a chilling sense of detachment and denial. Following the brutal events of April 3rd, the perpetrators exhibited a disturbing nonchalance, attempting to carry on with their lives as if nothing had happened. Some even engaged in reckless behavior, celebrating their perceived escape from accountability. However, this facade of normalcy was short-lived, as the investigation began to unfold and law enforcement closed in on them. The community's outrage and the relentless pursuit of justice by Nenah's family and friends ensured that the truth would not remain hidden for long. As the investigation progressed, crucial testimonies and confessions emerged, shedding light on the events leading to Nenah's death. Some members of the group, feeling the weight of guilt and the pressure of impending legal consequences, began to cooperate with authorities. Their revelations provided critical insights into the dynamics of the group and the psychological manipulation that had taken place. These confessions not only implicated their peers, but also painted a harrowing picture of the violence that had transpired. The testimonies revealed the extent of the betrayal Nenah faced as those she trusted turned against her in a moment of cruelty. The legal proceedings that followed were a complex and emotional journey for Nenah's family and the community. The arrests of the perpetrators sent shockwaves through the area as many grappled with the reality that individuals they may have known were responsible for such a heinous act. The courtroom became a battleground for justice, where the families of the accused and Nenah's loved ones faced off in a painful reminder of the tragedy. As the trials unfolded, the varying sentences received by the perpetrators highlighted the complexities of the legal system. Some received harsher penalties due to their direct involvement in the violence, while others, who may have played lesser roles, faced lighter sentences. This disparity sparked further outrage within the community, as many felt that justice had not been adequately served. The aftermath of Nenah's death became a catalyst for change, prompting discussions about the need for systemic reform in how cases involving violence against Indigenous individuals are handled. The community rallied together, advocating for justice not only for Nenah, but for all victims of violence, emphasizing the importance of accountability and the need for a more equitable legal system. The pain of Nenah's loss lingered, but her story became a powerful reminder of the urgent need for awareness and action against violence in all its forms. The emotional and psychological impact of Nenah Kat's tragic death on her family, particularly her mother, Pacher, was profound and far-reaching. Throughout the legal proceedings that followed, Pacher experienced an overwhelming sense of isolation. As she navigated the complexities of the courtroom, she often felt like a solitary figure amidst a sea of legal jargon and procedural formalities. The weight of grief was compounded by the stark reality of facing the individuals responsible for her daughter's death, which left her feeling vulnerable and exposed. Pacher's journey through the legal system was not just a quest for justice. It was a painful reminder of the loss she had endured, and the emotional toll was immense. In the wake of her daughter's death, Pacher became a passionate advocate for support systems for families of victims. She recognized that many families like hers were left to grapple with their grief in isolation, often without the resources or guidance needed to navigate the aftermath of such tragedies. Pacher began to speak out about the importance of creating networks of support for those affected by violence, emphasizing the need for mental health resources, counseling, and community solidarity. Her advocacy efforts aimed to ensure that no family would have to endure the pain of loss alone, and she worked tirelessly to raise awareness about the unique challenges faced by families of victims of violent crimes. Tragically, Pacher's own journey came to an end when she passed away, leaving behind a legacy that would continue to resonate within her community and beyond. Her commitment to raising awareness about the violence faced by Indigenous individuals and the need for systemic change became a cornerstone of her legacy. Pacher's voice, once filled with the anguish of a grieving mother, transformed into a powerful call for justice and compassion. She inspired others to join her in advocating for change, ensuring that Nenah's story would not be forgotten. Pacher's passing was a devastating loss for her family and the community, but her legacy lived on through the awareness she raised and the support systems she championed. Her efforts highlighted the importance of community solidarity in the face of tragedy, reminding others that healing is possible when individuals come together to support one another. Nenah's story, intertwined with her mother's advocacy, became a beacon of hope for many, emphasizing the need for continued dialogue about violence, justice, and the importance of supporting families affected by such heartbreaking circumstances. In this video, we have explored the tragic story of Nenah Kat, a vibrant young woman whose life was cut short by a horrific crime. We began by detailing Nenah's upbringing, highlighting her artistic talents, her close-knit family dynamics, and her dreams of becoming famous. As we delved into the events leading up to her disappearance, we discussed the betrayal she faced from those she trusted, culminating in the brutal violence that took her life on April 3rd. The aftermath of this tragedy was marked by a community's grief and outrage, as well as the legal proceedings that followed, which revealed the disturbing behaviors of the perpetrators involved. We also examined the emotional and psychological impact on Nenah's family, particularly her mother, Pacher, who faced isolation during the legal process, and became a passionate advocate for support systems for families of victims. Pasher's legacy, which continues to inspire conversations about violence against Indigenous individuals, serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of remembering victims like Nenah and advocating for justice in their names. As we reflect on Nenah's story, it is crucial to recognize the broader implications of her case. Each victim represents a life filled with potential, dreams, and aspirations, and their stories deserve to be told and remembered. By raising awareness about the violence faced by Indigenous individuals and the systemic issues that contribute to such tragedies, we can work towards creating a safer and more just society for all. We encourage you, our viewers, to engage with this important conversation. If you found value in Nenah's story and the discussions we've had, please consider subscribing to our channel. Your support helps us continue to share these vital narratives and advocate for change. Don't forget to like this video and share it with your friends and family to help raise awareness about the issues surrounding violence against marginalized communities. Together, we can honor Nenah's memory and ensure that her story, along with those of countless others, is not forgotten. Thank you for joining us in this important dialogue, and let's continue to stand together in the fight for justice and awareness.